We're obligated to have a balanced budget. It is a tax cut overall. Some proposals in the past have been what's called revenue neutral, where they essentially just move around the tax structure. This isn't. This is in the first year, something like a $230 million tax cut going directly to the people. The way we pay for it is one, we get rid of revenue sharing. Too often in Augusta, there's been notion after notion of how do we reduce property taxes? How do we reduce property taxes? The solution they always come up with is cutting a check to the municipalities. The problem is that hasn't been working. The municipalities get the money, and we all know, especially in small towns, budgets are real tight, and the result too often is not a reduction in property taxes. So we would change that to what's called the property tax fairness credit. Money that's going into revenue sharing now would go to people that are of lower means but have property. We want people to be able to stay in their house. So if you were below a certain income level, no one would pay more than 6% of their income for property tax. The remainder would be reimbursed by the state through a refundable tax credit. We would also create another tax credit called the sales tax credit. Part of this proposal, like I said, we have to pay for it, is an increase in the sales tax. And it's a broadening of the sales tax. And this is for a couple reasons. One, the governor feels that taxing consumption is more appropriate than taxing work. You have a choice when you go to buy something. It's something that it's about freedom. I mean, you don't have a choice of whether or not you work. Everyone needs to work. Everyone has an income. You don't have any choice there. So what we're saying is, let's move to a consumption-based tax system. There's a couple other good reasons for this. In the various recessions we've had, it's very tough to budget because our current sales tax structure is based almost more than 50% on sales of vehicles and sales of building supplies. Well, what's the first thing that happens when we hit a recession? People stop buying building supplies, people stop buying cars. Then all of a sudden we end up in a huge hole in Augusta, and they're running around trying to find money to fill it. We're much better off with a nice stable revenue base, albeit we believe a lower revenue base, but a stable revenue base that you can plan years out. So we would broaden the sales tax to include things that many other states include. Services, and just broaden it across the board. So a broader sales tax base, about a 1% increase from the current sales tax. And here's, I think, the best reason for that. We have over 30 million visitors to the state of Maine every year. None of them are paying income tax. We're all paying income tax, but they're buying stuff. And what we're able to do with this budget is shift a lot of that tax burden to those folks from out of state. Every time they come in here and they buy food, they buy trinkets or whatever tourists buy here in Maine, they would be contributing far more than they are now. So we're exporting a lot of those costs to out-of-staters. That's my basic spiel. I think what I'd like to do is open it up to questions. This is a complicated package. It's comprehensive. We're outselling it. The governor is outselling it. That's really unprecedented to have a governor with, I'll admit, a controversial proposal putting his own capital on the line. So we're doing town meetings all over the state. He's taking questions directly from the citizens, and he's selling this thing. We were in Presque Isle last week. We got, I think, 160 people there coming out on a random Wednesday night to hear about this. And we're doing, I think it's 2 a week for the next month with the governor personally. I'm out talking to anyone that will listen. Mr. Labonte is as well. And what we really want to do is build